Today on CityCast Philly, Philly's food scene just keeps growing. 75 new restaurants are slated to open this year. In 2023, the city's restaurants and bars had some big wins, like landing 4 James Beard Awards, one of the most prestigious awards in dining. So I'm going to chat with a local food writer and tour guide about what's new on the menu in Philly. It's Wednesday, January 17th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Maddie Schweitzer LeMay, creator of Tiny Table Tours, a walking food tour of South Philly. It's great to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Maddie, what are some things you look for when checking out a new restaurant?
I often look for some context, like who is recommending this to me. So I take recommendations from people that I trust really seriously. I think like anybody, I look at photos, I look at menus, and if the food speaks to me, then I'm going. But I also think, looking for things that surprise me, looking for things that I'm not familiar with. I really like new things. So I think sometimes it's like really worth it to also go beyond what you're comfortable with or what might like immediately cause you to crave something and just like take a swing. I have found some of my favorite restaurants that way.
Awesome. So a few years back, we lost some really good food spots because of the pandemic. It totally upended how we go to restaurants, how we visit restaurants, and it changed the way food was served and delivered to us. But some of those once lost restaurants are making a comeback this year. So tell us about some of those.
Yeah, I think for me, one of the first closings that I reported on during 2020 was Satay Kampar, which was a very beloved restaurant that was on Passyunk Avenue, owned by Angie Branca. It was, I guess, a Malaysian concept. She served a lot of Malaysian satay, which are like grilled skewers. She closed in 2020, which was really, really sad, and has sort of existed in a bunch of different forms over the last 3 years. But Angie is bringing sort of like a new version of Satay Kampar back. She's opening a restaurant called Kampar that is actually going to be in the old Nomad Pizza space at 6th and South. She will be opening the restaurant sort of in 2 parts. So downstairs, there'll be a tasting menu. It will be sometimes her, sometimes one of 2 sort of chefs in residence that she's bringing in to mentor. And then sometimes it'll be a tasting menu that they collaborate on together. So you'll be able to reserve for any of those sort of menus. And then upstairs, there's going to be a big kind of restaurant and bar space with a bar that has wine and beer, cocktails that are being developed by Danny Childs, who is a very talented bartender. He is just like an incredible mind. And then there will be sort of like drinking snacks and a lot of Angie's sort of beloved dishes from over the years in that space upstairs. So you'll be able to get things like this burger that she did as a pop-up in 2020. That's like a Malaysian style street burger. You'll be able to get occasionally, they're going to do satay, like those grilled skewers that were obviously very beloved at Satay Kampar. It's a really big concept. It's a really like big swing for Philly. It's the thing that I'm possibly the most excited about. And I'm just like really, really happy to see this restaurant that I loved come back in this new, bigger creative form.
Awesome. When can we expect Kampar to come out?
Yeah, so these things are such moving targets, but I think they're saying sometime this spring. So hopefully sooner rather than later, but I think hopefully definitely before the summer.
Awesome. This sounds so good. Now, Philly is also a beer city. There are lots of local breweries. Last year, CityCast Pittsburgh host Megan Harris and I, we did sort of a virtual beer crawl. We picked up a 6-pack of local beers from Philly and in Pittsburgh, and we got to try them. So you can check out that episode in our feed. Maddie, are there any new places offering a local beer selection this year?
Yeah, so really exciting. 2 Locals Brewing Company is opening their first like big brewery with a tasting room. Ooh. So 2 Locals is actually Philly's first Black-owned brewery. It's going to be in U City Square over in West Philly. The brothers who own it have Liberian and Jamaican heritage, which my understanding is that is going to inform the food, which I'm very excited about because I feel like brewery food can get a little samey. So I'm excited to see what they come up with. Also because they are collaborating with the team over at Liberty Kitchen. So I think it'll be really interesting to see like what comes of that collaboration. And they're going to be able to significantly expand their beer offerings. I think they're saying like up to a dozen beers potentially, which is exciting.
I know this was such a long time coming, and University City has a lot of great Caribbean restaurants. So I'm really looking forward to this.
Yeah, me too. I think it's going to be really cool. Different than other stuff that Philly has right now, which is great.
Maddie, we mentioned at the top of the show, you are the tour guide for Tiny Table Tours, which takes people through South Philly, which has so many different neighborhoods and amazing selections of all sorts of cuisine. So speaking of South Philly, one of my favorite cheesesteak places was Jim's Steaks, which was a popular cheesesteak restaurant. Will they be reopening this year, especially after the fire that they had that closed their location last year?
Yeah, this is a question that I get on almost every tour. We don't have a cheesesteak, but we talk about cheesesteaks, and people are always like, I love Jim's. When are they reopening? So they are going to reopen. They are expanding into the building next door that used to hold Eyes Gallery. So the space that they're working on is going to be much larger. And the last I heard that they have hit some, unexpected delays because of the complexities of combining these two very old buildings. So they are planning to reopen. They haven't really said when that will be, but I think me, you, and the entire city of Philadelphia is waiting with bated breath. Speaking of fires, there's another restaurant that is very beloved in the city that had a fire last year, and that is Tequila's over at 16th and Locust in Rittenhouse. It's a very old restaurant. It's been around since 1986, and it's been in that location at 16th and Locust since 2001. They had this big fire last February that kind of wiped them out, and they are planning to come back bigger, better, stronger than ever, which is really exciting. They are saying that they'll reopen sometime this spring. And I think that this is like a must go restaurant wise, but also as a bar, because David Suro, who opened the restaurant, and his son, Dan Suro, it's kind of a family business. Dan Suro is like by far one of the most talented bartenders in Philadelphia. Anybody who likes tequila, agave spirits, this is a must go. The Suro family also runs an import company. So they actually import agave spirits from Mexico, stuff that is like really not available through any other importation companies. And they do that at a price that includes fair payment at every level of the supply chain, which is also pretty rare. So I'm really excited to sit at the bar with Dan again and let him just like pour me things and have my mind blown.
Oh, I love that. More on new restaurants coming in Philly after the break. This is CityCast Philly. We went to Rittenhouse. Let's go back to South Philly and go on past Young Avenue. There are a few new spots opening along the Ave. Can you tell us about them?
Yes. Okay. I'm very excited about this because I live in South Philly. So this first opening is one that I'm sort of like, this is filling a hole in my life potentially. That is that Pizzata Pizzeria, which has a location over in Rittenhouse Square, is opening a much larger location on Passyunk Ave. So they're taking over the La Scala's location, which is at 1700 East Pass Ave. So it's going to be like 80 seats or something. It's going to be pretty big. They're going to have a full liquor license, wine, beer, the whole deal. And then, they do New York style pizza. So they'll have the pizza that they've become known for at the shop in Rittenhouse, but they're also saying it's going to be a pretty big menu. So they're like saying starters, salads, pastas, sandwiches, kids menu, like the whole deal. I always feel like it's really fun to see a business that has thrived in a small location move into a big space and just like watch them kind of like spread their wings.
Yeah.
And just like see what they can do and all the things that I'm sure they've been thinking about for a long time. So, I mean, pizza, it's an essential food group. I'm really excited about that. And then the other essential food group, wine. So the people who own Good King Tavern and Le Caveau and Super Foley are opening another business in the old Primal Supply space, right in Passyunk Square. So that was a really sad closing last year. So it's really exciting to see that these business owners who run these like beloved businesses in Philly are coming down to Passyunk Ave. They're opening what they're calling sort of a hybrid wine bar bottle shop market. It's going to be called Superette. They're saying it'll open sometime this spring. And I think it'll be open for like lunch into the afternoon and early evening. They've said they'll have food to eat there, food to take away, a little market space, and they'll do apéro, which is sort of like French happy hour. So that's really exciting because there's like not a lot of incredible bars on Passyunk. So I think I'm going to spend a lot of time there potentially.
Love it. All right. So we come out of South Philly. Let's go to North Philly in Brewery Town. And it looks like there is a new restaurant opening with a more permanent location. Tell us about Babies.
Yeah, so Babies started years ago as a pop-up called Tita Emmy's. They're doing Filipino food. It'll be at 2816 Girard Ave. And it'll be, again, this like kind of all-day food and market concept. It's been a long time coming. They've been doing these pop-ups for a long time, and they haven't really said exactly what the food will look like, but I love Filipino food. I've had their pop-up food. So I'm sort of like, whatever they decide to do, I'm in.
Maddie, you just gave us so many restaurants and details and descriptions. And I love the relationships that you have with some of the business owners and the bartenders. But I've got a few that I'm also looking forward to. I want to take you to West Philly, back in University City. Assad's Hot Chicken.
Oh my God.
Do you know about this place?
I'm so glad you brought this up.
This is the popular Nashville-style hot chicken that really took off on social media. They are opening a new location in U City. They already have locations in Roosevelt, on Roosevelt Boulevard, Cottman Avenue, and in Bensalem. They are opening 2 new locations, one at 16th South 40th Street, which is near University City. And they're also opening at 7370 Lycombe Pike and Washington Lane. So I'm really excited. Spicy chicken. I don't have to travel all the way up to Roosevelt Boulevard and get the chicken from the gas station.
I feel like spicy, it's just like spicy chicken, spicy fried chicken. Like,
yes.
You're welcome.
I love it. All right. Also, speaking of chicken, I'm excited about this spot called Black Hen, which is slated to open in Old City this month. Now, this is the restaurant concept from the creators of Amina Southern Cuisine in Old City, which I went to last year. The cocktails. Oh my God. You only just need one. That's it.
That's a good warning.
Yeah, you can't go too much after that. But Felicia Wilson Bell and executive chef Daryl Harmon are bringing this new fried chicken restaurant that it's also going to be a BYOB.
Yeah, this is big. I mean, I feel like it's maybe 2024 is the year of Philadelphia's fried chicken renaissance.
I hope so. But there's still some good classics around.
I know. It's not like we need a renaissance, but it's just like more.
Yeah, just more. Give you more chicken.
Yeah.
Okay. Now this spot. Whew, my God, this food is so freaking good. Kilimanjaro. I heard Kilimanjaro's coming back. This is the delicious West African food, super popular. So they had a restaurant in West Philly, kind of in the University City area, like near Drexel. But some years back, they lost their building. The building got demolished. So they are opening Kilimanjaro back again. They've got another spot called Yuma's on Baltimore Avenue that featured some of the same menu. Flavorful. And this is what I did. Okay, this is like a tip.
I love when people give like, here's what you do. Here's what you order. Like, here's when you go. Like, this is the information that people want. This is like what I do on the food tour. Please enlighten me.
Okay, so my friends and I, we went to Kilimanjaro back in college in our Temple University days, okay? So friends came back into the city and I'm like, all right, like I want to, take y'all places. And they're like, no, Janae, we got to find Kilimanjaro. I was like, ugh, Kilimanjaro's closed though. So we went to Yuma's and I said, okay, everyone get one different thing from the menu so that we can all taste and share. A friend of mine had the lamb. Another friend had like some type of fish. I ordered the red snapper. Unfortunately, that red snapper bone, be careful of it. It got stuck in my throat for a week.
That's a long time. Are you okay?
I'm fine now.
Okay.
But still flavorful food at Kilimanjaro. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I think it's cool that some of these places like Tequila's, Kilimanjaro, like Campari, it's like these places that are coming back in these new forms. Like new stuff, obviously I'm really excited about new stuff, but I also get excited to just like see the longevity that is like available in Philadelphia. Like that is such an accomplishment. And I just am so proud of that and so excited to like partake in it.
Yes. I also heard that Sabrina's Cafe, which has so many locations in the city, they're opening a location in the airport at Terminal C.
Pancakes pay the bills, baby.
Please tweet that pancakes pay the bills, and they do because their pancakes are popping. Oh my gosh. Yes. So I'm looking forward to that as well. Maddie Schweitzer LeMay, creator of Tiny Table Tours. Thank you so much for talking about all these new restaurants coming to Philly this year.
Yeah, I hope you're hungry.
For a list of all these upcoming openings and the restaurants we mentioned in this episode, check out the links in our show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you're hungry, just like me, and enjoy this episode about new restaurants coming to Philly, tell a friend. Rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter, Hey Philly, to learn more about what else Philly's talking about. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.